Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to day 13 of the Herbally-Inspired Holiday Challenge. And my name is Allison from The Well Cultivated Life. And if you've been sticking through all the way, we're almost like 2 weeks in. So good for you if you have been staying alongside me throughout this sort of herbal inspiration marathon that I for some reason decided to do. I'm in the kitchen again, and I won't be able to be here all the time because my family is like, what are you doing taking over the kitchen? But today I wanted to show you a whole bunch of different options for plants that you can give as gifts for the holidays. Our plant of the day is going to be aloe, but I'm going to save that goodie for the end. And I want to just get started right away with just talking about the obvious things that you could give, which would be a variety of culinary herb plants. One of the favorites and everybody loves that actually is a plant that does well. I just came across an article and it was talking about how a lot of people try to bring their plants in for the winter and a lot of them don't survive, and that how rosemary is one of the best ones to use. So this is just a small rosemary plant that I had outside for the summer. Something this size would be more than enough to be able to make a nice gift. And then this is a sage plant. I'll have to admit the sage is not doing quite as well as the rosemary. When plants are perennials, like sages, it's a little bit harder for them to survive inside. So I may just decide to trim this and dry it, make myself a bouquet garni out of it, maybe dry it down and just have it for the next time I get a sore throat and need to have some sage tea. But then, of course, one of my favorite things to do with plants is not just to give a pot of plants, but to create a large planter, a variety of different plants. Now this does just have rosemary in it, but I used to love to give my mother-in-law a planter every spring that she could just put on her deck. I think it would do rosemary, thyme, parsley, just a variety of culinary herbs. So she could just walk outside and snip a few whenever she wanted to use it for cooking. Now this, I'm so excited, you guys, I have to share. This rosemary is starting to bloom. My chickens pecked this down. They loved it. They were eating it. Brought it inside. Now it's blooming. So no one's getting this. I'm keeping this one. But this is just a way to show you how you could basically put in a variety of different herbs and give a nice big planter to somebody for a gift. Now, I'm going to remind you again, we talked about this with the bulb planting, just to use caution about what you're choosing for soil to put into your potted plants. There are a lot of soils which contain sewage sludge. It's one of the ways that they get rid of stuff that they need to do something with. So, which is fine if you're just doing your, basic house plants, but anything that was culinary that people might be eating, you just want to bear in mind to ask or check the label. Unless it says it doesn't have it, or it says that it's certified or for certified organic growing, it probably does. Okay. Now, the next grouping of types of plants that I want to show you are succulents. So, let me get this back here enough so you can actually see. The camera's here and my computer's there. So I had a plant. A friend of mine was moving and she didn't have room to keep all of her plants in her new apartment. So she gave me this really overgrown plant. This here, I don't know what it's, some kind of succulent, or it might even be a type of decorative aloe, I'm not sure. And it basically looked kind of like this. It was so overgrown in the pot that I was actually able to divide it out and get 5 little pots of plants. This is a type of aloe. So I specifically picked this out at the garden center because I wanted to show you what are you going to want to look for if you decide you want to go give some plants. Now, of course, you can go and you can just buy the plants already in their individual pots, but that can get expensive. And so when you go to the garden center or the, even, I don't know, places like Walmart, do they have house plants? I'm not sure if they do. You want to look for something that's really, really overgrown. Sometimes it's not the best looking plant on the entire floor, but when you bring it home, you can then separate it and transplant it into this one. I probably would be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separate babies, plus keeping this large one in the center for myself that would then regrow. Another thing you can do, another great option is to create, again, these planters with multiple plants in them. And I love to give people these types of succulent plants because they are very low care. And a lot of people people may not have the skills to maintain a type of some plants are picky, okay? And so this is an example of one that I transplanted maybe about a month ago. And I was actually at the hardware store, and they had this whole rack of just little baby succulents in these teeny tiny pots. And so I just picked a variety of different ones, and then I transplanted them into these nice ceramic pots. And so it's almost like a little terrarium look to it. Tried to get 3 different styles. And so that would make a great gift as well. Geraniums. This is a geranium that I originally got as a start from somebody. I have a huge version of it over there. This is my secondary pot of it. It's a trailing scented geranium. And so these are just great smelling, and they are, again, easy to take cuttings of. So you're simply just going to, cut off a sprig. Your best bet is going to be to take a stem that has the growing tip on it. Take a little piece off there. Make sure that you have plenty of stem, and then you can let it just sit in water like this, or you can just put it right into the soil. So geraniums are a great type of a plant that you can make cuttings from. There's also, of course, spider plants. Does everyone have a spider plant? I think everybody does, and it puts those little babies off, so you can always cut those and transplant those as gifts as well. All right, and the last thing before we get to aloe, I want to share this funny. This cracks me up. So there's a woman, a local grower who grows bouquets, and she sells them through my CSA that I go to every week. So I got this bouquet, and it had coleus, which is this kind of shade-loving plant that's grown as an annual around here. And so I got my bouquet, and I put it in there, and I would just keep the bouquet in there. And then as a flower would start to look bad, I'd pull it out. And suddenly I realized, wow, these coleus have been in here for several weeks now, and they still look good. And so I examined closer, and I saw that these cuttings that were just part of a bouquet had rooted inside the vase. So I've been having these sitting here. They had some flower stalks on them. I cut them off. And so I'm looking forward to rooting these and planting them and having some coleus either for indoors or maybe even making more cuttings and starting it outside next year. So you never know where you're going to find some cuttings to start a plant with. All right, so let's get to our plant of the day, which is aloe. And aloe, there's a bunch of different varieties of aloe around the world, but of course we're all familiar with Aloe Vera, or Aloe barbadensis, I think is the other name for it. And so this is the one that has the most type of medicinal properties. Most of us are familiar with aloe for the skin or burns or any kind of skin. It can be used for acne, any type of skin healing, dark spots. It can help heal those. It's really wonderful on the skin. A number of years ago, I kind of gave up unless I'm going to be outside all day long. I don't really wear sunblock anymore. I just aloe myself up when I come inside. And I do protect myself, covering my shoulders and things like that. Anyway, I had this aloe plant and it was outside for the summer and it was kind of blooming over the edge. And I was able to pull off these little ones, these little babies. And I got 11 baby plants. And not only, and I probably did this about 5 weeks ago. Okay. And you can see, I don't know if you can see this right here, but there's little teeny babies. I just transplanted the one piece. It's already putting out little side shoots coming out the bottom. So if you were just going to gift one plant to somebody, I'm highly going to recommend that you gift aloe. Now, aloe is like 99% water. And so that's part of the reason why it's so moistening and healing to our skin. And it has all kinds of like 75 different constituents in it that have the potential vitamins and all kinds of monosaccharides and all this good stuff that's inside of it. Now, I did find out when I was just doing a little research on this that there's another whole use for aloe, and I'm not sure if this is the variety, but where they can take out the latex, which if you've ever had a poinsettia and you broke it and the white, milky white that comes out of the stem, that's called the latex. And that there is actually a business in harvesting the latex out of these plants, not the gel flesh part. This is a different aspect of the plant. And that has a lot of much more stronger medicinal properties that are primarily used in the pharmaceutical industry. So a lot of aloe is grown for that. The latex is taken out. And then I'm assuming they would take the gel part of it and they would use that for making, what you're familiar with in the grocery store. And so I wouldn't use the latex myself in that way because it sounded like it was pretty potent. Again, I always research a little bit about these plants just to give you a good dose of information. And I came across a website that talked about, contraindications and ways that something like aloe, we think of aloe so mild, had, a couple of different type of drug interactions with aloe. Now, I don't know if they were talking about the latex or if they were just talking about the gel. I'm assuming the latex. But it just brought up a reminder that most of the plants that I'm showing you are either a type of food as medicine or a super nourishing, healing type of plant that is safe to use all the time. However, if you are taking a number of different prescription medications, I highly recommend that you do your own research before you start really getting into using any type of herb in large quantities. So other than maybe nettles, just do that research and just make sure that there isn't any, the term for it in herbalism is called contraindications. And that means this is indicated that you shouldn't take this if you have this condition or if you're taking this medication. And there are a lot of contraindications with herbs that we wouldn't use every day if you are pregnant or nursing. So obviously during pregnancy, you need to be just extra aware of what you're taking and what you're using on a daily basis. So get out there and get a nice big overgrown aloe plant, divide it up and give it to all your friends. And then the next time they burn themselves on the frying pan, like I do once a week, they can just come on over, snip a little piece, slit it open, put it right on the burn. I actually had a really bad burn on the tip of my fingers. I something, I went to reach for something, but I misjudged, and I went right onto a pan that had just come out of the oven, and I iced my fingers for about, I thought that I'm going to have to go to the emergency room. And I iced it for about an hour in ice water. And then I just repeatedly put aloe on it. And basically they had a little bit of peeling, but they were good after that. So aloe is just one of the most important things to have available for your herbal first aid kit. So make sure you've got a nice, healthy plant growing at your house all the time. Awesome. All right. Well, we are going to move into creating culinary goodies and blends starting tomorrow. Everybody have a great night. Take care, everyone.